Max, what's wrong? Is it Steve?
No, he's sick. Brenda's in there with him.
Oh, yes, our guardian angel keeping her constant vigil.
At least she cares enough about him to spend some time with him.
You have no reason to come down on me. I've spent more time with Steve than you have, so why don't you go home and take care of your hotel business?
I gotta take care of some personal business first. I called Dr. Davidson. Why wouldn't you tell her the name of your new doctor?
The same reason I didn't tell you. It's nobody's business but mine.
It's my kid. That gives me a stake in this pregnancy. I'd say about 50%.
You can't have it both ways, Max. You made it clear you wanted nothing more to do with me. Well, this baby is part of me. That makes your stake 0.
Gabrielle, would you...
Forget about us. Please. You've caused enough pain already. I can't bear any more.
According to Dee Dee, she and Bo flew into New York on Thanksgiving, but they flew to Europe immediately after that, right? Because that was the beginning of the end of their relationship.
Then she writes a letter to Pam and Pete from Munich saying what a great place it is at Christmas time.
She tells Rafe that she heard from her family about Delilah's disappearance, but we know that that's a lie.
And she doesn't talk long to anyone at the party, runs out, then calls Vicky and says that she's taking off to Australia. Why not stay here or visit with Pam and Pete? Why Australia?
And why doesn't she answer any of Rafe's messages? You know, the one in San Francisco, the one in Sydney? I tell you, there are answers here, and I bet Dee Dee knows them.
Well, unless you're willing to fly to Australia, there's no way we're going to get her to answer our questions.
Wait a minute. I think I've got an idea how we can find out where Dee Dee is without leaving town.
When you said you had a scoop for me, you weren't kidding.
I hope the audience enjoyed the interview as much as Joanna and I did. Oh, excuse me for one moment. I want to inspect the camera over there. It seems far more compact than anything I've seen in Europe.
Why, sure.
Melinda, thank you for letting me in on your big scoop.
Hey, whoa, wait a minute. I had no idea he had planned to buy up remaining shares in the station. I was ticked off at you for not telling me.
I didn't know anything about it. Neither did Vicky or Clint.
What the hell is going on?
Honey, please calm down, all right?
Calm down. I just see on television where Asa sold his controlling shares in WVLE to this clown, and you tell me to calm down?
Look, Asa told you he knew nothing about the rumor. I do not believe he would deliberately lie to you.
Well, I can't hardly believe that either, because he loves making his business deals. He likes bragging about them, boasting about them, unless...
Unless what?
Unless he made the deal and then forgot about it.
No, that would be more upsetting than his lying to us. I mean, if his mind is deteriorated to that
Well,
extent...
maybe that's not the case either. Maybe that's not the case either. Maybe Bo sold the shares and just didn't mention it to
Now,
Pa.
why do you automatically blame your brother whenever a problem arises?
Because my brother is usually the one responsible, that's why. Well, it's not going to do any good to be sitting around here speculating. I'm going to go have a little chat with his lordship.
No. I think you ought to go and talk to Asa again, and I will discuss this with Lord Henry.
Honey, I will hold on to my temper.
I'm sure you will, with Asa. And I will try and keep mine in check with Lord Henry.
Here's what to do when you don't find the rainbows in this time. Here's where you go when it looks like the rain won't end. Don't cry. I'll give you tomorrow. Let me be the one to share it with. And each day that follows, 'cause we only have one life to live.
Well, we're both still reeling from the news that you're our new boss.
I hope we can all think of each other as friends and colleagues.
So it's true. You bought WVLE, huh?
Mr. Dennison, I must apologize for not informing you of the purchase before the program. It was an oversight on my part, and I regret it. But if you're concerned about any major changes in the station, I want to put your mind at rest. I have no intention of making any major changes, either in format or in personnel.
Oh, great. I was just about to type up my resume.
Nonsense. You're doing a splendid job, as is Mr. Dennison. And by the way, I hope you'll allay any fears or concerns other members of the staff might have.
Oh, I sure will.
My right-hand man, Mr. Garth Buckley, will be calling round later to introduce himself. I'm sure we're going to maintain the same happy family atmosphere here that prevails now. Well, thank you so much for the interview. That was the happiest encounter I've ever had with the media.
Oh, thank you. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you around.
Mr. Dennison.
Well, now that I don't have to look for a job, I guess I'll get to work.
I suggest you keep your resume up to date.
Why? He just gave us his word. He wasn't going to make any changes.
Something tells me not to trust his word until I have proof that what he's saying is absolutely true. I'm not going to take anything he said at face value. If you're smart, you'll do the same thing.
Thank you, Rafe. We are in luck, my friend. We've got one smart cop working with us. He's already put in a formal request to get a copy of Dee Dee's disembarkation card.
We should have figured that. Damn. I hope that he doesn't talk to Dee Dee first and scare her off. Look, I want to find out what happened to Delilah as much as Rafe. But Dee Dee has already received 2 messages from him, and she hasn't called him back.
Maybe she doesn't want to talk to anybody, Rob, including us.
Well, she's going to talk to me whether I have to fly to Australia and force her to answer my questions. She's the only chance I have left to link Bo with my father-in-law.
Assuming she knows anything.
Even if she doesn't, she can fill in a lot of blanks.
You know, I hate lying to Rafe like this. Maybe we could come clean, tell him everything we know, everything we suspect.
No, not yet. It's bad enough our nosing around. If Rafe gets into it, Henry's going to be suspicious for sure, and I'm too afraid for Cassie's life.
Listen, have you talked to Cassie about dropping this investigation into Ace's drugging?
Yeah, but she's not going to drop it unless I tell her exactly why she's in so much danger. And I can't tell her that Lord Henry forced me to marry his daughter to keep her safe.
Cassie could really become a problem for us, Rob.
Don't I know it, but she's not going to listen to me. I just hope I can get enough pieces to the puzzle from Dee Dee in order to...
Listen, maybe we could find that jerk down in Atlantic City, all right? We could find him, the one who was bribed to make those calls to Renee.
Even if he admits that it's Bo, it doesn't mean we have the connection between Bo and Lord Henry.
You're right. So, we got to stick with Dee Dee. She's our only hope. We got to find her.
Damn, I just had an awful thought. What if she's not in Australia? What if Sydney was just a stopover to throw everybody off her trail?
Well, Ace's computer can tell us that. We'll just find out where she is. If she is in Sydney, fine. If she's not, the computer will tell us exactly where she is. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute. Phone. Go.
Now he that from the deepest pit hath come of the universe, and seen, each after each, the spirits as they live and have their home, he of thy grace so much power doth beseech that he be enabled to uplift even higher his eyes, and to the final goodness reach. You know, when we run out of these books, I'm going to go to the library and check out some books that I like. And then when you come out of this thing, I'm going to relax and let you read a couple of volumes to me. Now, I think that's only fair, Steve. Well, you should see the weather today. I mean, the sky is just crystal clear blue. It's like Arizona. It just smells the same, too. It's like that blue, like the stream that runs across my papa's land out there. And the wildflowers now in summertime, they're all up and down the roadside. It's breathtaking, Steve.
Where is the sun? Why can't I see your face?
Come through the door, Steve. Take the final step. Come to me, and I'll show you how much I care. I'll show you joy, happiness, love.
I can't make it.
You can. You are so close. You can't give up now, Steve. You see, you did it. Now come to me. Walk through the fog and into light. Take my hand. I'll help you.
I can't get through this wall.
Yes, you can.
No!
Yes, you can. Come to me. Take my hand. Let me show you how much I love you.
I can't do it. I can't go on.
You just can't give up now, Steve.
What's wrong? wrong?
Look at Dr. Wallach now. Look at the EEG monitor.
What the hell's going on?
Just get out
But
of here.
Steve is...
Get out of here, both of you.
Excuse me.
Brenda, how's Steve doing?
Larry's gonna be right out, okay?
What, is he dead?
No.
Is he saying he's dead?
No, he's alive.
Well, what's wrong? Did he stop
We
breathing?
need to talk to Larry about this, Max.
Brenda, you know as much of it about as Larry does. You were in there. I've been watching doctors troop in and out of there for the last half hour. I'm tired of waiting. What's some explanations?
I'm sorry. I know you're anxious.
How's he doing?
He came through the crisis.
What crisis? Was he back on a respirator?
No. There was some decrease in his brainwave activity, but it's leveled off now.
Well, what caused it? Was it like an increase in pressure?
No, it wasn't any increase in pressure.
Well, that's good news, right?
Yeah, it's a good sign.
Well, then we're through the worst part. He's making a comeback. He's going to bounce back like before.
Certainly is a possibility, man.
Well, that's what he's going to do, Larry. That's what he's going to do. He's a fighter. He's not giving up. Just don't you give up.
Don't worry. I'm hanging in there all the way.
Can I see him?
Yeah, please. Don't stand there too long.
You coming?
No, you and Brenda go ahead. Larry, I'm becoming quite an expert at reading between these medical lines, so let's get to the truth, shall we?
Well, Gabrielle, first of all, it's not uncommon for this kind of episode to occur in a comatose patient without any apparent reason.
What you're really saying is that either Steve will die, or he'll be alive for maybe 5, 10, or 20 years, just lying in that bed, not knowing anyone, not feeling anything, just existing?
Gabrielle, Steve is hanging on by a thread right now, and there is nothing any one of us can do except maybe pray.
Max deserves to know that. If the worst should happen, he's in there believing that Steve is going to recover, and that's so unfair. If he knows the truth and he ignores it, that's one thing. But Larry, he doesn't know the truth. Please, will you tell him? I don't know how I would tell him.
All right.
Thank you.
You want to be with me when I do?
No. If I'm there, he's bound to want to console me and comfort me, and I think it's much better if you do it on your own.
I'm sorry. I wish there was more I could do.
You've done everything. It's more than anyone could ask, but I think Max needs you now.
Okay.
Tom!
Oh, Vicky, I was just about to call you.
Actually, I was too. How would you like to be a guest on You and Lambie tomorrow?
Melinda, you mind?
We've got a big story here. I think we should make the best of it.
We don't know if it's true or not, all right?
Why would Lord Henry lie in front of a television audience?
Well, quite frankly, I don't know anything about what's going on. You were at the office earlier when Clint went over to Asa's. Well, Asa denied ever selling his shares at the station.
He did?
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. That's why I want to talk to Lord Henry. Is he still here?
No, actually, I think he left for Stonecrest.
Did he explain to you how he happened to buy the station?
No, he said Asa heard he was in the market for a TV station, so Asa called him up, offered to sell him WVLE, and they worked out a deal. That's all there is to it. Simple as that.
So, Vicky, you and Clint own 25% of the stock. Are you going to sell to Lord Henry? You're going to start a takeover battle.
Melinda, don't you have some work to do?
I want to get to the bottom of this.
So do I. Unfortunately, I don't have the answers to your questions.
Well, if I hear anything, could I come to you for verification?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
I'm sorry, Vicky. Melinda has ratings fever.
I absolutely can't believe it. It makes no sense to me.
Well, it's well known that Ace is quick on the draw in any business deal that might show a big profit.
Yeah, but not with companies where Clint and I hold shares, for heaven's sakes. Did Lord Henry say anything else to you?
Yeah, well, he made the usual speech. He said there weren't going to be any changes in the format or personnel. I suppose every new owner feels obliged to say those things right after he's acquired a new company. Huh?
Do you think it's true? I mean, do you think that Asa instigated the sale?
I find it hard to believe that Asa would pull the rug out from under you and Clint. I know Clint and Asa have had their differences recently, but you mean a lot to Asa.
So why didn't he tell us?
On the other hand, why didn't his lordship call you up and tell you that Asa had offered to sell him WVLE and that they fixed a deal?
Well, I assume that he considered that Asa's responsibility.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. There's an awful lot of dishonesty going on in business these days, isn't there? I suppose it makes me old-fashioned to expect otherwise.
feel absolutely awful about misleading you earlier.
Why, Becky? You weren't to know what was going on. No apology necessary, okay?
Thank you. I'm going to go on over to Stonecrest. I will let you know if I learn anything from him.
Good luck.
Paul, what the hell are you trying to pull?
Whatever happened to hi, Pa? How you doing? Or am I going deaf? I missed all that.
Whatever happened to... Hello, Clint, Vicky, how about coming over discussing the sale since you got a stake in it? What happened to that?
What incarnation you talking about now?
WVLE, that's what. Paul, I asked you about it earlier. You denied knowing anything about it. I just see on television Lord Henry Layton, he claims that he just purchased the station.
Why would he say that?
That's what I'm trying to find out. That's what I'm trying to find out, Paul. Now, either it's some kind of publicity stunt or you made a deal with him. Paul, I have to know the truth.
I'm going to be honest with you, Clint. I'm not sure what the truth is. I am not sure of anything anymore.
You don't remember talking to Lord Henry or having one of your lawyers do it? Think, Pa.
I don't remember what I had for lunch, all right?
Well, if you made some kind of an agreement with him, if you sold the station, there has to be some kind of a written agreement between you and Lord Henry. I'm gonna call your legal...
Hold it. My secretary, she brings the letters and memos or keeps them in the desk here. I mean, if there's no paper, there's no sale. And you can expose Lord Henry Layton for the reprobate that he is. I'll show you.
Come here, Daddy. Hey, sleepyhead.
Yes.
Did it rain last night?
Heather's diaper leak.
Oh, not again.
Yeah.
There is a diaper that can work all night. Love's Deluxe with the Night Guard system to absorb again and again.
Yeah, patents, securities, sales and acquisitions.
An agreement for you to sell your shares in WVLE to Layton Limited. Lord Henry Layton, majority stockholder. And that's your signature, Pa.
Oh, shoot, Clint, I remember. I heard that he wanted to buy some American companies, and with the station not doing so great, I unloaded it on his lordship.
Who told you the station wasn't doing so great?
I saw the figures. The ratings are low, and the advertising revenue is way down, and... Wait a minute. I saw the figures at the office.
Vicky and I never saw any figures like that, Pa. We never saw it. Who told you that Lord Henry wanted to buy a television station?
I don't remember.
Was it Bo?
No, it couldn't be Bo.
Why couldn't it be Bo? Why couldn't it? He's the one who was putting the pressure on you to get you to agree to sell, what? The Olympic Paper Mill, the Orca Oil Wells, the Southwestern newspaper. Hell, lately he's been acting like he's owning the whole damn company.
Bo isn't even in town.
Yeah, it's a great time for him to disappear, isn't it, Pa? Where the hell is he?
I don't know. Why? Oh, maybe he said Europe.
Oh, forget it. Never mind. I'll call his secretary if he bothered to tell her.
No, hold it right there. Don't you start with Bo. My name, my signature's on that paper. I take full responsibility.
Pa, if you wanted to sell those shares, if you wanted to unload those stock, why didn't you let me and Vicky know? Why didn't you at least let us make a bid? We've been running the damn station. Maybe we wanted to keep it in the family.
I'm sorry, Clint. I didn't want to hurt anybody, especially you and Vicky.
Yeah, Herb Callison. Clint Buchanan calling. I don't care if he isn't a conference. Tell him it's urgent.
Son, I just wish I could explain what happened.
Yeah, look, Herb. Herb, can you break away and meet me at the Banner? I got big trouble and I need your help. Thanks, I'm on my way.
Simon, please, tell me what I can do.
If you get any more business deals, Paul, will you call me first?
I used to keep more information in my head than any damn computer. What the hell is happening to me?
Would you care for a cocktail?
No, thank you. Is Henry coming here directly from the studio? To my knowledge, that's his plan.
Well, let us pray that his magnificent ego does not cause him to do anything else as stupid as that interview.
Oh, I found him rather amusing and entertaining. That bombshell was exciting.
Premature, Garth. Very premature. Our plan took months to formulate, and it must be executed with the utmost caution. We can't afford to give in to our childish enthusiasms, even though they might be tempting.
Childish enthusiasms? Really, Elizabeth? You've done nothing but dream about revenge on the Buchanans ever since Asa stole Sanders' chemical from you. I thought you'd be delighted at the havoc my announcement will create in the Buchanan family.
Henry, I always thought you had a certain amount of decorum, but it was dangerous to make the Buchanans look foolish in public. Your behavior is as irresponsible as our bows.
Irresponsible? May I remind you, Elizabeth, I joined your grand design so that I could live out my life in prosperity. The acquisition of WVLE is the fulfillment of my dreams. I wouldn't do anything detrimental to my goal.
But if the Buchanans find a way to block that sale...
Impossible. The deal is signed, sealed, and delivered. Garth, my boy, I want you to go round to WVLE and make your presence known.
Oh?
Yes, I'm placing you in charge of the operation. I want to conserve my energies so that I'll be fresh and ready when I'm tallying the profits at the end of each month. Well, do you feel up to it?
Yes, of course, sir. I won't let you down.
I know you won't.
Well, thank you. This is one project I shall really enjoy.
Good. Have fun.
If you'll excuse me.
Well, Elizabeth, a drink to celebrate?
Henry, when the time is right, I shall drink to the demise of the Buchanan Empire. But until we get everything we want, I am very much against arousing the enmity of the Buchanans.
Sooner or later, the whole bloody family is going to hate us. We are now at the halfway mark with the Buchanans. We've acquired the offshore oil well, the paper in the Southwest, and now the TV station. Despite occasional heavy seas, we have stayed our course and are now in calm waters. Relax. Enjoy the rest of the journey. Lizzie, tuppence for a smile. That's it. Now, I'll feel even better if I heard a word of congratulation.
I do compliment you on a job well done, Henry.
Thank you. And may I say that I have enormous faith that you will achieve your goal just as easily.
As a matter of fact, while you were out making your deal with WVLE, I was completing a deal of my own. One that will guarantee my success.
Steve fought to keep alive when someone disconnected his respirator in Arizona. He'll pull through this.
Max, I want to believe that as much as you do. Now, you asked me, when you first brought him in here, you asked me to be honest with you.
But you're not giving him any chance.
Look, I'm not able to predict, Max. I just know that you have a right to know the downside as well as the upside.
Why now? I mean, after all these months, why now? I want him back. I want him whole. We got a whole life ahead of us together. To be brothers, to be friends. Maybe even forgive.
How could you say that just then?
What do you want me to do, lie to him?
Steve is lying there in that bed fighting for his life, Larry, and your negative comments are only going to discourage him. God. I had no right to say that to you.
Oh, that's okay.
Mm-mm. No, I was way out of line there.
Brenda, maybe Steve does hear us on some other level. Maybe if
If we encourage him to fight, it'll be just the thing he needs to break out of this. I hope to God that's true. Nothing would please me more.
I know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's all right. Listen, back to work. I just want you to know I'm on your side. Okay, I'll be out in the hall.
Do I have a right to try and force you out of a place, Steve, where you might very well want to stay? I mean, where it's all safe and warm. But I don't care about that, because life's a gamble, and I know about that. I mean, 1 minute, it is all pain and sorrow and just really terrible things. And then the next minute, it's happiness and joy and really good things, Steve. And that's what you need to fight for. And you feel that way because that's what you were writing about in your journal. I just want you to come back. I just want to hear your voice. I want to see you smile. I want to feel your touch. I want to love you, Steve.
All right, nobody's here. Let's hit the computer. I tell you, if she's not in Australia anymore, I'm catching the first flight out of here. All right, should be on this list here. See her name anywhere?
No. There it is.
Where? Bingo. Great, she's still in Sydney.
Unless she used a fake passport to disappear.
Well, we'll find out about that when Rafe gets here. He can tell us where she's staying.
Do we need it anymore?
No, we don't.
What's on your mind, Clint?
Huh. Something just kicked in. I'll bet you that Bo is responsible for Dee Dee to come into town in the first place and for her leaving, too.
Oh, Cord, you're really reaching.
No, I don't think so, Rob.
Look, she wanted to reconcile with Bo. She found out he was at the party. She showed up. She took her shot. She struck out. She left.
Right. You want to reconcile with somebody, what do?
Romance. Wine.
Sounds good.
Candlelight dinner.
Yeah, you seduce her, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, let's give Dee Dee a little credit here. She's a smart woman. She knows about men. She knows about relationships, okay?
Yeah, that's a fair assumption.
Right. Why wouldn't you just want to talk to Bo by herself someplace? You know, the two of them after the party where they could really communicate. Instead, she comes storming in the place and she starts screaming at the man in front of all those people.
Yeah, you're right. It's not a smart move for a smart girl.
Not only that, but I seem to remember Bo hovering around her that whole time. Now, if something like that happens to you, some woman comes screaming at you, wouldn't you just leave the whole place?
Yeah, you're right. He didn't leave until she did.
No, he did. Now, that's strange, isn't it?
Rafe, how you doing?
Hey, Rob. Cord.
Listen, Rafe, did you talk to that friend of yours? Did you get any information?
Yeah, he sure did. He sent me a fax of the disembarkation card, which gives us, in Dee Dee Buchanan's own handwriting, the name of the hotel she booked in Sydney.
Bingo. Let's check it out.
Linda Kramer, Garth Buckley. How do you do?
Hi.
Garth is Lord Leighton's right hand, so to speak. He's here to do a tour of the studio.
Well, welcome to Landview.
Thank you. I would have thought you two had met at the party, no?
Well, no, actually, I'm sorry we didn't. Is your wife over here with you?
I'm not married.
Oh, well, actually, I hope you'll be a guest sometime on View on Landview. Our female viewers are certainly in for a treat.
I don't make public appearances.
Oh. Well, Garth, I'm sure you're going to discover that we are rather informal around here. We take our obligations seriously, but we like to have a little fun at the same time.
Well, perhaps if you had less fun and paid more attention to business, your profit picture might be rosier.
We're not exactly swimming in red ink.
Perhaps not. But from what I can determine thus far, WVLE lacks the kind of structure that could make it really profitable.
Oh, we have thought of making some changes, a few additions here
I
and there.
intend to revamp the company and bring it into line with the rest of Lord Leighton's communications empire.
One step inside the door, and all of a sudden, you are an expert on how this studio operates? Well, I got news for you, hotshot.
I'd prefer it if you called me Mr. Buckley. That would be more appropriate for the new station manager. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to take a look at the control room.
Wait a minute. Punching him in the nose isn't going to get you any points.
That pompous stuffed shirt thinks I'm out to make points with him. He's got another thing coming.
So much for Lord Henry's reassuring speech, huh?
I told you he was a phony.
Yeah, well, sometimes I have to learn the hard way. Now, the next question is, what do we do about Attila the Hun?
I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to let him walk all over us.
How on earth did you manage it?
Very carefully and very quietly.
With Beau's help, of course.
He doesn't know it yet.
You stacked the board of directors of Sanders Chemical without Beau ever learning of it?
Exactly. And when the time is right, I shall call for a vote and then snatch the company from the Buchanans.
You are amazing. Everything is falling nicely into place. You'll have your beloved company. I'll be able to live like a true lord once again. And Patrick
will have his revenge, whatever that's worth.
When he marries Tina, he lived quite handsomely on her money, and even more handsomely on her inheritance when Victoria passes on. I do say it's time for a cocktail.
Would you please tell him that Victoria Buchanan is...
Good Lord, Henry, I can't afford to be caught here with you.
Quickly. Into the secret passageway.
Thank you, Jarvis.
Welcome, Victoria. A pleasure to see you.
Lord Henry, at the risk of sounding somewhat daffy, I could swear I just saw someone vanishing into your fireplace.
I beg your pardon.
Well, I thought I saw a woman's skirt disappearing into your fireplace.
Victoria. I think till I'm weary of thinking, said the sad-eyed Hindu king. I see shadows all around me, illusion in everything.
Illusion?
Shadows of the evening, my dear, fleeting across the room, playing tricks on the eye. It happens to me often. You're not daffy at all.
Well, thank you. I'm very relieved to hear that. Forgive me for not calling you first.
Not at all. I half expected you to call in for a chat. Why don't you and I repair to the gazebo and enjoy the cool evening breeze? Would you like that?
Oh, that would be lovely, yes.
The legal department drew this up for Asa, that's obvious.
You saying it's legal?
Lord Henry's got himself a TV station.
There's no loophole, no way to break the agreement?
Looks airtight to me. Do you and Vicky have any kind of written agreement with Asa that gives you the right of first refusal on his stocks?
No, I didn't think it was necessary. I figured that if Asa was ever going to sell his stock, he'd get a hold of Vicky and me first and give us a chance before he unloaded it. Of course, I figured that he was going to always be in possession of his faculties, too.
Well, he had sense enough to have his lawyers draw up the papers.
He doesn't remember that. Herb, he doesn't even remember talking to Lord Henry. Have you seen Asa lately?
No.
Well, physically, he's in pretty good shape. Mentally, he's going downhill.
Clint, I'm sorry.
Well, it's my fault. I mean, I should have been keeping a closer eye on him, but damn it, I blame Beau, too, for not telling me that his condition had gotten to this point.
Well, he didn't discuss the sale with Beau either?
No, he doesn't remember. And Beau's not in town. He's no help.
Well, there's nothing you can do about VLE, but you can prevent this sort of thing from happening in the future.
Well, I wish I knew how.
You can take away Ace's holdings. From what you've told me, that probably wouldn't be very difficult.
What's next?
for you at the hospital.
I had to leave. I couldn't stand it any longer.
Larry talked to me about Steve. It doesn't look too good.
Yeah, he felt he had to tell me the truth, too.
Look, we always knew what the worst case would be. We just didn't want to face it. But Steve's holding on. He's hanging in there fighting for his life.
What life? What life do you expect him to have if he's brain dead, useless, just like mine is gonna be?
Don't you say that.
This is a day for truth, Max. I am facing a future with a husband who won't even know me. In limbo, without joy, without love. I'll be holding the hand of a man who can't even feel my touch or hear my voice. I have no hope left. I don't have you. I don't have Steve. I have nothing. Everyone I've ever loved has been taken away from me.
You have Al. You have your unborn child. You have me. And all your friends who care about you.
Nobody cares about me. Least of all you. You have made that so painfully clear.
Look, this self-pity is not going to solve any of your problems. You're bright, you're attractive, you got a beautiful home, you got a brilliant career
I'm
ahead of you.
not interested in your hollow words. Get out. Leave me alone.
I want to help you.
Then leave. Now!
You can live your dream. Be a beautiful brunette, fabulous blonde, or a radiant redhead with Ultress. Only Ultress has a gel colorant. What a difference.
You mean have my own father declared mentally incompetent?
It's a legal solution to the problem.
It's a lousy solution, Herb. I can't do that. Pa's always stood up for me, backed me up in every situation. I can't turn on him like that.
Well, it's not a question of turning on him, Clint. It's a matter of protecting his business until he's capable of doing it himself. Well, it's a tough call. I realize that. But if you don't make it, there's no way you can prevent Asa from giving away the whole damn store. If he does regain his mental faculties, only to find out that you allowed him to auction off his life's work. Won't that destroy him?
And if I do the court business and have him declared incompetent, won't that destroy him, Herb?
What's going on?
Looks like we're back to square one. Dee Dee never checked into the hotel she's got listed here on her disembarkation card.
Wait, you sure?
I'm positive. That was the clerk right there. He said that she never even made a reservation.
Why would she lie?
Because she doesn't want anyone to find her.
Why would she cover her tracks?
I'm going to get a list of all the hotels in Sydney, and I'm going to call them all. If she's still there, we're bound to track her down eventually. Cord, what's wrong?
I think there's something wrong with this disembarkation card.
Yeah, well, it says Imperial Hotel, but we know she was never planning to stay there.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a letter that Dee Dee wrote to Pete when she was in Europe.
Where'd you get that?
Pamela sent him out. I've been reading through these letters, hoping to find out where Dee Dee was. I don't think we have to go back to square one, gents. You want to take a look at this?
The handwriting doesn't match.
That's right. So Dee Dee never filled out this disembarkation card. That's why she never answered your messages in San Francisco and in Sydney. She wasn't on the flight. I'm telling you, it was an imposter. Dee Dee never even got on that plane.
For all we know, she's still in land view.
Well, she is. We're gonna find her.
Lord Henry, my father-in-law is suffering the consequences of a drug that he was given, which unfortunately has now affected his memory. Clint went to question him about a rumor that he had heard regarding the sale of WVLE. He knew absolutely nothing about it. And then an hour later, you made your announcement on View on Landview. Now, I do not believe that my father-in-law would deliberately lie to us, so I can only assume that he simply did not remember having made an agreement with you.
He seemed totally rational and in full possession of his faculties when he called and asked to see me. And again, when we met and finalized the sale.
Well, I can well believe that. But I'm also quite certain that he had forgotten all about it by the time he talked to my husband.
Perhaps he was trying to avoid a family squabble.
No, Ace has never backed down from a fight in his entire life. He thrives on them.
I am distressed he has difficulties, but the agreement was legally drawn up in good faith.
Yes. Would you consider selling the shares back to me and to Clint?
I'd gladly do so, but I've made financial commitments now based on the acquisition of the station.
I see.
Oh, I do sympathize with your dilemma. I feel simply awful about it. Mind you, I fully intend to include you and Clint in the management of the station. I'm not the sort of chap that ignores his fellow stockholders. If your fears about Asa's mental competence prove to be justified, I hope you won't hesitate to call me for any help I can provide.
Thank you.
Where are my manners? I haven't even offered you a drink.
Oh, thank you.
Jarvis! Jarvis! Where is that fellow?
What's this?
What are you talking about?
This used to be my grandpa's. Paul left it to Steve. Where's the gun? Let me have this.
Don't come near me.
What the hell is the matter with you? Just give me the...
No! I should have done this weeks ago when my life first started falling apart.
Look, I know things look real dark for you right now, but you don't want to do this.
You stay away from me.
Give me the gun, then we can talk.
About what? About how much pain and sorrow I'm feeling, how I can't take it anymore?
What about your year-old son in the next room? How much pain is he gonna have to bear knowing that his mother killed herself?
He's too young, he'll never remember me.
What about Steve if he recovers? What do I tell him?
He's much better off without me.
What about our unborn child? If you take your own life, you're gonna take his with it. You can't.
Shut up! Leave me alone! No!